Good evening, pipe friends. My second video for the day, and this one is going to make a video response to AGSMOM1s 600 subscription contest. And 600 is a pretty good milestone. That's pretty good, Amber. Congratulations on it. Tonight I'm smoking little Aldo Valenti Dublin. Kind of like a Calabash, but I think it's a Dublin. And in the little Dublin, I'm smoking some creme brulee from Don Juan's Pipe and Cigar Company in New Orleans. My son sends it up to me. About need to get some more. He sends 2 or 3 good blends up to me. Buttered rum and Houdat. Buttered rum is buttered rum. Houdat is a good burley blend he sends up. But anyway, Amber, you wanted to know how we met our significant other and what it was about this person that really, I guess, got our attention. My mother, my mom was a beauty shop operator, and she had a little beauty shop next door to our house when I was growing up. And my wife's mom was a customer of hers. And my wife had pretty much grew up with her dad in Houston. And when she got to be, she was 17, decided to move back to Louisiana to live with her mother. I came by the beauty shop. I was leaving to go uptown. I came in to tell my mom I was leaving. I was 15 years old. And I came in to tell my mom I was leaving to go uptown, or to ask to go uptown, or whatever. And my wife was there with her mom. And, of course, they introduced us. And I didn't think much of it, you know. When you're 15 and you're a boy, at that time in Louisiana, you could drive at 15. You could get a license at 15. And, a 15, 16-year-old boy, the biggest thing at 15 on their mind is keeping gas in their old car or whatever. So, anyway, I was more into cars and stuff. And I thought, well, big deal. Nice to meet you. And went on about my business. And a month or two, about a month rocked on. And it was this little girl's birthday. And my mom said, I think my mom and her mom put this thing together. She said, why don't you take her out, go to the movies, whatever, out to dinner. And it's her birthday, take her out. And I said, you've got to be kidding. I'm not interested whatsoever. No, I'm not going to do it. And so my mom laid a heavy guilt trip on me about how would you like to be the new person in town, and no friends, it's summertime, school's not in, blah, blah, blah. How would you like to be the new person in town, and this, that, and the other. So she really laid a guilt trip on me, and I felt bad, as I always did. My mother was real good at that. So I agreed to invite her out. And we did. I called her. I was nervous as a cat. Don't know why, but I was just really nervous. But she said yes, said she would go. We went to see the movie 9 to 5 was playing. And went to see it. Nothing really insignificant, but we went out to dinner afterwards, and I remember her eyes were just, I thought she had the most gorgeous, prettiest eyes I'd ever seen. And so we, it went pretty, it just kind of, went along. And the next weekend, I didn't call her, didn't think much of it. And over the next week or so, I had an opportunity to kind of go up to their house for whatever reason. I think, looking back, it was probably set up by our moms. But started hanging around a little bit, whatever, and I started beginning to have kind of feelings for her, and decided, well, I'll call and invite her out again. So I called her. She agreed to go out, and we went to see the movie Arthur. Went out to dinner. Come home. I'm nervous by this point. I am just extremely nervous, because at this point I'm beginning to develop feelings. And I thought everything was fine. Well, along came my birthday. Remember, I was 15, turning 16. She was 17 a few months later. She's about a year and a half older than I am. Well, when you're 17, especially, I guess it's that kind of thing with a girl, when you're 17 and you find out the boy that you've been dating for a couple of times is 15. She didn't know this. She was appalled, to say the least. And I guess that's, that's a big deal, maybe for a girl. It wasn't for me, but it was for her. And all of a sudden, I was just like cut off. She would even take my phone call. And I'm just devastated. I'm crushed. And so I called, and I'm just sick. I'm just love sick. And I called, and she worked after school at a pizza place here in town. And I would go by there and just hang out, just like a sick puppy, I would just hang out, and I would just sit and watch her, I'm just really love struck. She wanted nothing to do with me, nothing whatsoever, but because of the age difference. And she dated other guys, and I couldn't stand it, I was just sick. So I would move on, and I would attempt to date others, and I started, begin to date. Actually, my wife was one of my first dates, but, for a few months I tried to date a couple of others and just couldn't get into it. And she would break up. She went out with a couple of different boys, and she'd break up with one, and I would just be elated, just be happy, and I'd go back for more abuse. And she wouldn't go out, but I would always make it a point to be where she was going to be. I would go by, eat pizza, and I would always sit in her area and she would have to wait on me. And she just would get so aggravated about me coming by there. I remember one night she came out to my table with a pan of pizza as she was bringing it out to the table, and she just dropped it and just let it fall. She was so mad that I was there. And now she says, looking back, she said, do you realize what you were doing then was stalking me? And of course, I didn't even know what the word stalking was, but I guess in retrospect, yes, I probably was stalking her. But anyway, she started dating this other boy, and my mother, she knew I was lovesick. She said, look, you're just going to have to move on. There's nothing there. I know you have feelings for this girl, but there's nothing there. She has no feelings for you. There's nothing ever going to become of it. You need to move on. So I tried going out, and meanwhile, nothing ever developed. She broke up with this boy she was going with. And I had an opportunity one night to go to her house and for a little get-together. And somehow or another that night, she had turned 18, was graduating school. I was into being, 16, going on 17. And something clicked. Whatever clicks happened. And we sat down that night and just talked about our future, what we wanted out of life, and yada yada. And it just clicked, and I got ready to go, and usually before, when I would get ready to go, it was like, bye, see you, But this night, she follows me out to the car. She keeps talking. She's, it's like, hey, what's going on? And I'll never forget it. When I got in the car to go, she said, call me this weekend. We'll go out. And I'm like, whoa, yay. So I did, and it progressed from there. We started going out. We dated. When I turned 18, we got married. This January the 15th. A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated 30 years. and we have 2 grown sons who no longer live in the house with us. They moved off. One still lives here locally. The other one lives in New Orleans. And we were blessed 6 years ago with a little girl. She's 6 years old. She thinks she's Queen Bee. She's it's kind of like having an only child here. So it turned out really good. We've been married 30 years. We're still as much in love today as we were 30 years ago. And I look at her and think she's the most beautiful woman in the world. That's my story. And again, congratulations on your on 600 subs. Thanks.